Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a tennis ball cake. Now this cake is perfect for the tennis ball lovers in your life. So I started off by making a 550 gram portion of my favourite vanilla cake. Basically all that means is I use 550 grams of the bulk ingredients. If you want more details of that, they'll be in the description box below. Now to divide it between my pans, I had two 8-inch cake tins and I put about 2.5 cups of batter in those. And I also used a Wilton Hemisphere 3D ball pan and I put 2.5 cups of batter in each of these tins. Now, yes, in the end, I only ended up using half of one, but we'll get to that in a bit. Now, you want to bake those cakes for about 175 degrees. The 8-inch cakes will take about 20 to 22 minutes, and the balls will take about half an hour. So once they're baked, you can get on with the decorating. So take your 8-inch cakes, and you're just going to level the top off using a serrated knife. Then place a small amount of buttercream onto your cake board. Then I piped a ring of stiff consistency buttercream icing, and the way I did that was just add a bit more icing sugar. Now take some softer buttercream and just place that in the middle and spread that out roughly with your spatula. The reason we do this is because I think the softer buttercream has a much nicer mouthfeel and the damp of the stiff buttercream stops that all from sploshing out the sides. I chose to add a bit of jam to this cake, so just spoon on your jam and spread that out. Don't spread that out too much because your buttercream and your jam will mix together too much and we don't want that to happen. Then add on your next layer of vanilla cake. And then we're going to do a crumb coat, so that just means spreading a thin layer of buttercream around the edge which locks in all the crumbs, which means when we do our final ice, we get a nice smooth coat. So with the crumb coat done and nice and smooth, you can pop that off into the fridge for about half an hour to chill. So once that's chilled, we can take that out and we're going to give it a nice final ice. Spread a thick layer of buttercream around the edge. Then scrape away that thick layer of frosting to give a nice smooth layer. Then the final step is to pull that lip of frosting into the centre of the cake. Now to do the shell border on our cake, we're going to take a start it and you're just going to pipe shells, so push it up and pull it away. Push it up and pull it away. All around the top and the bottom border of our cake. Just pop that into the fridge until we need it. So with your ball cakes, you want to level off the top, and if you place these in a bowl, it's going to mean you're not going to slide around. And then I chose to level my cake into two. This was a bad idea. Do not split your cakes into two. It's just going to mean it's more unstable and it's more likely to collapse. Now we can get on with colouring our fondant. Now this is a cake for a customer. Now they wanted more of a green tennis ball rather than a yellow one, so I coloured my fondant on the greener side. But you can colour yours whatever you want. So just knead your fondant to make sure it's nice and smooth, and then you can add in your colouring and just knead that through. While you're not using your fondant though, you will want to make sure it's well covered up, otherwise it's going to dry out and form a crust, then it's going to start to crack, and it's not going to be fun. So once your cake comes out of the fridge, you want to give that a nice final ice. And then this is the stage where it all went wrong. So I rolled out my fondant as I normally would to about 1/8 of an inch thick. I rolled it up over my rolling pin, as I normally would, but as I rolled it out over the cake, the action of rolling it forward meant that it was too heavy and the cake just toppled over. All the layers slid about because there was too many layers and it just all collapsed. So I peeled off the fondant, I took off the top half of the cake, got rid of the bottom half, and I had to start again, and I just had to use half tennis ball instead. So as I peeled off that fondant, I will have lifted the buttercream up a bit and made it a bit uneven, so I just took a spatula and just re-smoothed all that out. And now we're going to re-roll the clean fondant. Don't use any of the fondant that's contaminated with the buttercream, although this shouldn't happen to you now that I've told you what to do. I am however going to figure out how to do a 3D ball cake, so I am going to do a video of that in the future. A proper one, without a cake fail, hopefully. So roll out your fondant to about 1/8 of an inch thick, roll it up over your rolling pin and out over the cake. Now I just secured that to the top of the cake by using your hand just to rub that onto the cake. Smooth out, and then you're going to lift up the pleats and pull down the fondant and tuck that onto the cake. Trim off the major excess. We're not cutting that right up to the cake, just the big bits of excess. Push the fondant into the cake. And you take a fondant scalpel and just trim a nice neat seam around the base. Now it's time to do these things on the cake. I don't know what they're called. They look like these bits. Yeah, those things. So I just took my template and I'll leave a link to that in the description box below, and I'll lay that on top of the cake, and I used a skewer to mark out the points along that template. Then I took some royal icing in a piping bag and just piped a line following joining those dots. Do that on both sides of your cake. Now my customer wanted me to pipe the name, take your time, give it a practice a couple times and you should be fine. So to assemble this cake, I took 3 thick, fat cake dowels. I don't like to use wooden dowels because I feel like the thick, fat ones give you more support. So push one of those into your cake and see where the buttercream line comes to. Just take a serrated knife or something and just trim those. Then trim all 3 of your dowels to be the same size. Stick those into your cake. Add on a 6-inch cake board and then your cake on top. Now you might have a bit of an untidy seam or a gap between your 2 cakes, so I took some of my leftover buttercream frosting, dyed it green and put that into a grass tip. Now I didn't actually have a grass tip, so I had to make my own. If you want to learn how to do that, you can click the link. So I just piped some grass in between the tennis ball and the border, and this just really brought the whole cake to life and covered up any nasty seams. And that's literally it. Thank you guys for watching. If you've had any cake fails, make sure you let me know to make me feel a bit better about mine. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed, comment below what you'd like to see me make in the future. You can click here to see my last video and here to see a video randomly selected by YouTube for you.